Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths, and all of the righteous families of the planet. It's your big brother Fahim back again with another bill for the family. Today I want to do a quick bill, just dealing with this individual right here that you're looking at on your screen right now. This individual right here, one of our yellow seeds, right? Mr. Angelo Bonilla, aka he calls himself God Universal, right? Another savage in the pursuit of happiness, using the good name of the Lord in vain, not having any discipline. You know, this individual was at a game, a basketball game, and, you know, he's repping New York. He had his Knicks jersey on, and another white boy had a Spurs jersey on, and, you know, it was just a little sports debate, quick, you know, sports argument, shouting or whatever, you know, and nothing disrespectful, nothing, you know, that was racial, or the white boy didn't say the N word, or it was nothing like that. But this savage individual, in front of everybody, a whole bunch of people out there, he just, wow, he just duffs the white boy in the face. And let me play the video. Just check this out.
Respect to do it right now going to the Spurs.
Why are you so scared?
What the fuck is that?
Nigga said, why you I'm scared, yo.
I respect
Listen, who man is this, bro? I'm a vouch for this nigga. He's scared as fuck. But I'm telling you, in New York,
fuck that. Fuck Tim Duncan. Fuck the
got
Goblin. Fuck
Okay.
the Spurs.
Fuck Arsenal. Fuck Chelsea. Fuck West Ham.
as we
Go
can see,
Tottenham, baby. Tottenham.
This individual is just, he's out of control.
Shit.
You know, he just walks off, just look at that. Just look at that. A savage. You know, didn't even turn around to see if the white boy was alright. Like, yo, he was alright, he alright? Alright, cool. You know, nothing, just with no regard. The white boy didn't even come with that type of energy. So there was no reason for you to do what you did. And then you calling yourself God and saying you got knowledge of self. I mean, how does that look? Don't you see a stark contradiction there? Like, I mean, come on. You know, these are the type of individuals that we have to, you know, remove ourselves from. And I'm happy with some of the NGE that spoke out against this guy and, you know, disassociated themselves from him. And you know, I applaud them. I commend them. You know, but I mean, we got to do better, man. I mean, this, you know, the brothers down at their law school, and then, you know, I always say the so-called law school, because it's like, you know, what are you producing? Are you producing more individuals like this? Is this just a hub of gangster guards and thugs and you know, getting knowledge, coming out being more supreme thugs? Like, I mean, what do you got going on? You know, this is how you could tell when a nation is in ruin. You know, whenever you see elderly, you know, the older heads. When you go down there, you just see older heads. The father didn't waste his time with 30, 40, 50, and 60-year-olds. He didn't even, you know, so if he didn't do that, and when he originally started his organization, the 5 Percenters, and it was based on youth. I mean, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, you know, the father had young brothers, you know. I mean, where's that at today? We don't even see none of that today. Where all the youth at? You see all these old 50, 60-year-old dudes with, you know, 1 or 2 teeth in their mouth or whatever, trying to build and talking about what's today's mathematics and stuff, like talking like babies. Why are you still talking like a baby? What's with the gaga goo? I mean, you should be dealing with the high science. Like, you should be, drawing parallels to what the Father gave us to every teaching on this planet. I mean, come on. If you're God of the universe, right? If you're God of the universe, you're supposed to be able to do that. Your understanding is supposed to be like a beacon of light right now for the ignorant. But when we got individuals like this running around, like, just duffing people out, playing the knockout game in the street, I mean, come on, what are we doing here? So, like, I could be petty and just go on, and but at the end of the day, like, and this individual, he's a stark, a staunch hater of the Muslim gods. I remember he did a meme or some video he had with me. The guy used to have like 5, 6, 7 different YouTube channels, and he would just use them to come on the Muslim gods channels, or on my channel I had to delete so many of his accounts because he would just come on and say some homophobic gay stuff, or just something ignorant, something foul and disrespectful, and jump off. Never no building. Yo, why y'all brothers teach that? And boom, boom, boom. And, trying to bomb us with like want some knowledge. No, none of that. All ignorance. Almost like Lord Jamar, like, you're sitting around scientists or people, but you're cracking silly, ignorant jokes. Same thing. You come on my channel, the people that, view my videos, for the most part, are intelligent people. They seeking knowledge. Most of them are students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but not all of them are. But all of them are seeking knowledge, because if they wasn't, they wouldn't be on my channel. That's first of all. So you come on a channel with intelligent people, and instead of trying to make me look stupid or bomb me on some intelligent, no, you take the low road and, Muslim gods are fags, and just, ignorance. Muslim gods suck dick, and just ignorance. You see? So it's like a lot of times I don't even really need to respond back. I could just let you show and prove who you are. Because I know the people that's on my channel, so at the end of the day, let you say the ignorant baby talk and keep it like that. But at the end of the day, people, this is a teacher-student channel. And, we mostly direct our studies to, just the development of being God at the end of the day. Because we're Muslims by nature. You're a Muslim because from the first day you pop out of your mother's womb, you have a yearning for information. You have a yearning and a desire to grow intellectually, whether you're righteous or you're wicked. Because even the wicked person wants to get knowledge and information. The white man is seeking knowledge and information, down to the smallest atom and how to crack it and use it to make a weapon, how he can weaponize that. So technically, it's like he's a Muslim, technically, But every human being, just for the simple fact that you have a yearning and a desire to learn. In Islam, we say that's Muslim. You're a Muslim. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's definition of the word Muslim. That's the true definition of the word Muslim, even coming from the Arabic, right? One of learning, one of peace, one of with a desire to elevate, right? Because we know when we elevate, we reach our godhood. We reach God status. So I always like to just use these type of videos, reactionary type of videos, if I'm looking at silly clown goofballs like this. I like to use it as a teaching experience, because at the end of the day, we're the real 5%ers, right? So even when I'm clowning you and whatever, at the end of the day, it's still jewels and gems being dropped all over the place. You could pick them up, put them in your pocket, and do what you want with them. But that's still going to happen at the end of the day. So, these individuals, the name Iblis God. I haven't spoken about the Iblis gods in a while. And what is an Iblis God? Again, we're Muslims by nature. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we're Muslims. All throughout our lessons, it calls us Muslims. The name of the lessons are called Lost Found Muslim Lessons, for Christ's sakes. Right? Lost Found Muslim Lessons. The Father didn't change any of that. He left it just the way it was when he got it from Muhammad's mosque. Right? Or Muhammad's temple of Islam. Right? He didn't change anything. But if he had the mentality or the mindset like you guys, let you guys tell it, it would say Lost Found Lessons. And everywhere in there where the word Muslim shows up, it would have been X'd out or taken out. Right? It would have said, what is his own self? His own self is a righteous God. Because that's what y'all say anyway. It would have been called the Lost Found God Lessons. Right? That's what y'all would have made it say. Right? I mean, Iblis was a rebellious individual by nature. He was a rebellious being by nature. Allah created the human being, the black man, the supreme being black man, created him from earth, from mud. And he told everything in creation, angels included, everything, to bow down and make obeisance to this individual, to this man, this human. And all did except Iblis. And his reason for not doing that was because he felt he was better, because he was created first, before the man, and he was made from fire, right? And he said the man was just made from clay, mud, something that he looked at as imperfect. So he said, no, I'm not bowing down to that. No. So doing that, it's like you look directly at mathematics and you disregard what mathematics say. Because, Allah is mathematics. Allah is God. Allah's word is bond. So when Allah says something, we can take, people talk about face value. We could take Allah on face value. Why? Why would we do that? And this breaks down and gives the understanding to Muslim. Why would we do that? Because as 5%ers, we're told we don't take nothing on face value, but you could take Allah on face value. Why? Because, first of all, it's actual mathematics. It's actual truth. Right? It's actual truth. So you could take it on face value. Even the angels in the Holy Qur'an, it says that, even though when Allah said that he would place a ruler in the earth, they were concerned. There was some concern there because they said, well, would you place something in it that would cause bloodshed and violence? And I'm paraphrasing. But we see that there's some concern there. But Allah says, you know what I know not. I know what you know not. Right? But why would we take Allah on face value? Because it's almost like a child taking his mother on face value when he comes out of the womb. The woman is the first God that we know of before we start knowing anything about a deity or anything like that. That's the one we call on when we need food, clothing, shelter to be changed, or whatever the case may be. And we take her on face value. Why? Because we know that she has us in her best interests. Right? So we can do that. We could take mama on face value. So it is with Allah. We know that Allah has us. He has us in his best interest. Right? And he's not going to tell us anything wrong. He's not going to give us any signs or any mathematics that's wrong. Everything is going to be right and exact. So even if we catch on later on, when we hear it, if we know it's from Allah, you could take that on face value. But then later on down the line, still Allah wants you to do your research and still learn how I came to this conclusion. As Muslims, we're students. So we study to learn how did Allah come to that conclusion. Right? I agree with him from he said it. Out of his mouth, I agree with it. But I just for myself, and Allah wants you to do that for yourself. He wants you to go study how I came up or how I came to that conclusion. Right? We see that in the Bible with the story of Ibrahim or Abraham in the Bible. When he said, go find 50, he went, couldn't find 50, came back. Go find 40, went, go find 4. This is like Allah really making you, I want you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I really, really want you to understand and see the significance and the inner meaning, if you will, of why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I've made this decision. You see? So we're Muslims, but we're students because we're always studying the universe. We're always studying man. Two things that we can see and observe. Anything that we can see and observe, we study it. We're scientists. That's what a scientist does. Recently, I was looking at an article, and it talked about just our epigenetics. And it said that it could be traced back 16 generations. Just think about that. 16 generations. Our epigenetic, like your epigenetics is like, your gene expression, right? Like if there's any type of traumas or anything that may have happened in your ancestry, right? It can manifest later on down the line, right? And you won't know where it came from. So when you sit back and think about that now, 16 generations, we haven't even been 16 generations out of chattel slavery. I mean, if you just want to keep it all the way live, we on what, 5, 6 generations? Maybe 7, 5, 6, 7 generations? And we right there on the plantation, chained up and shackled up. So because black people are acting in the crazy, retarded way that we're acting today, and other people, immigrants come to the country and they wonder why black Americans, why they acting like that? Why, man, why are they walking around doing all this crazy stuff? I mean, transgenerational epigenetics. I mean, we were coded back then with fear. The devil put fear inside the babies through the mother and the father, but mostly the mother. The mother had to stand there and watch another woman get her fetus ripped out of her stomach with a knife, cut out of her stomach and smashed against the rocks. Like you banging a sock or something against a table or whatever to straighten it out. This is what the white man did. Some of the most evil, wickedest things that you could think of. That the mind can't even think of. You can't think of this. And this is the reason why we say divine evil. Because the stuff that is evil that you can't even think of. You wouldn't. I mean, I remember when I first read that they used to take black babies and use them as alligator bait. Like, that's insane. Who could think of, like, who thinks of something that evil? That's like next level evil. You know. So, at the end of the day, family, not to make this too long, but we have to understand that discipline is very important, especially as young gods growing into big gods, grown men, like true and living gods. We got to understand that discipline is very, very, very important. A lot of brothers hear the black man as God for the first time and they think, oh, that's it, I don't need no more. This is what the Father thought when he first heard that. But no, there's a lot more that we need. There's a lot of deep trauma in us that, like, discipline is going to bring that out over time. The white man takes 35 to 50 years before he can attain his, status or whatever. But at the end of the day, it don't take us that long as original people, but we would need to at least invest 15 to 20 years of cold, hard study and research and disciplining ourselves, eating right, like everything. This is important. We were damaged. We were dehumanized. What happened to us didn't happen to no other race on the planet. So we're unique in that sense. And this is the reason why God has chosen us to be him, the supreme being gods. Right? So as I close, family, I think I speak for most of the Muslim gods when I say this. It's like, we love the Father, we reverence him, we praise his works that he did. But I don't think any Muslim god or any 5%er in the Nation of Islam would put Brother Clarence over the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm a 5%er, but I'm a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm not a student of Brother Clarence 13X. I'm not a student of Father Allah. That's my brother. I love him to death. That's my brother. He led me to the Lamb of God. So I'll always have a deep, soft spot in my heart for that man. And I'll always, praise his name, or his names. But we're not religious. He's not a deity to me. As the NGE has deified this individual. The Father was a baby in Islam. We're looking back at this now as 40, 50, 60-year-old men. Come on, you should see. The Father was a baby. He was trying to learn Islam from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he was trying to master that. He didn't have it mastered just because he went and said, yo, the black man God, and rallied up some youth behind him. Now, if he would have did that and discipline would have been there and they would have been just as disciplined as the brothers in the NOI, then, okay, maybe we could probably say that. But there was no discipline. You could be a drug dealer. You could be a whatever in the street, extorting people for money in prisons or whatever and still be like, peace, God, peace, peace. You could do that. So this is the reason why it was so easy for him to build a nation like that of youth. Because the youth, there was no discipline. I tell people all the time, let there have been discipline among the early 5%ers during that time. The Father wouldn't have been as successful in growing his nation. Because most of them would have said the same thing that brothers say when they come to the NOI, who end up turning around and walking out the door. They'd be like, nah, these niggas too disciplined for me. I remember I was in federal prison one time and the brother was, he was trying to explain something to me, and you know, I'm in the FOI, you know, and it was me and a couple other brothers, and he's trying to explain something, and the brother's like, yeah, you know, and you know, and mother effer and you know, and shit and this and then, you know, and like every time he said a curse, you know, the brother, I forget the brother's name now, he's from out of Boston, but he was with us in the FOI. You know, Salam alaikum, brother. Salam alaikum, brother. You know, like he kept stopping them, like your language, brother, your language. You know, and it was, I could see if it was women and kids around, but we was just all to ourselves. But it was just the fact that he kept using foul language, and the brother kept stopping them, and you know, I guess he got frustrated, like, okay, you know, I'm trying, like, and I remember when they walked off, and I was with the brother, and he was like, man, these niggas too strict for me, man. Shit, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, you know, like I can't even talk, man. I'm trying to explain myself. That's how I talk, though, man. And I was like, I understand, brother. I understand. You know, but a lot of brothers turn around and walk out the door because it's too disciplined. You can't curse. You can't smoke. You can't drink. You can't sell drugs. You can't, you know, you can't chase women. Like, come on, that right there make dudes turn around and walk out the door. So think about if the father had all of those restrictive laws in place and general orders in place, just to think about that. But he didn't. It was for a reason, alhamdulillah. You know? But at the end of the day, once the brothers come in, the idea is you can come to, as the Christians say, you can come to Jesus like how you are, but you can't stay that way. You know, well, yeah, that's, yeah. You could come to me however you are. You can't stay like that now. You ain't gonna remain that way, but you good. Come on, come build with us. Come study with us. Come sup with us. Right? So this is the job. We're looking for the youth. We're looking for babies. We're looking for the young, you know, 30 and under. This is what we want to go after and teach and make sure they have understanding. You know, knowledge is good, you know, and wisdom is even better, but understanding is the greatest. Because when they understand, they can connect all the teachings to whatever. So no matter who comes to them with whatever talking point, because a lot of 5%ers in NGE have talking points. Let's keep it a buck. Just like flat earthers have talking points, a lot of 5%ers in the NGE have talking points. You know, we're not Muslim. You can't be a Muslim because, you know, Allah is God. You don't submit to nothing. Muslims submit, so they can't be, you know, that's a talking point. You know, or we not Muslim. The Father took away the Muslim names and gave us the other and told us that, you know, that's a talking point. You know. I mean, it's so many, I can't even think of them all right now. Oh, the Muslims make me sick. He said that. Yeah, see, he said that. You know, another talking point, which all of these can be debunked because none of them are really provable, you know. But end of the day, we should be, after 15, 20, 25 years of study, you should be old enough to go back now and see what needs to be corrected, what needs to be done, what the father could have done better. Come on. But you say that to these dudes and they think, oh, better than the father. You can't do nothing better. Whoa. Like, no, I'm not trying to say you got to go and start a whole nother 5% nation, but what he put in motion, let's go through that now. And there could be changes. There could be corrections. There could be things, you know, come on. Well, like I tell the brothers in the NGE at the end of the day all the time, like, look, if you don't want to call yourself Muslim, or if you don't want to, you know, be students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if you don't want to follow the teachings like how they're supposed to be followed, then create your own. If you're God, you can create your own. That's easy. That should be easy for Allah to do. Allah says in the Qur'an, His word is never frustrated. So why haven't the brothers done that? See? So we all need to get in line. We all need to be in one accord. You know, we need to disassociate ourselves from individuals like so-called God Universal, Angela Bonilla. We need to, you know, come on, fresh start, Let's start building, man. I mean, because the devil ain't playing. We playing around and the devil ain't playing. Right? So I'm going to just leave it right there. With that being said, I leave you as I came in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths and all of the righteous families of the planet. Peace.